Well, hey ManCave, this is Bob from the Bob's N-Scale ManCave, and this is part 5 of how to put in your turntable and roundhouse. 130 foot turntable and roundhouse. I've got 18 bays on this roundhouse, so it's pretty large. As you can see, I've got a bunch of lights here that I just got in. The Just Plug system. These are the gooseneck exterior lighting. I went with the goosenecks because they're already made, and I can actually put them on my beams. They're going to go inside the roundhouse, one on each side. Put like one down here on this end and one down here on this end. One will face one way, one will face the other way, and I can glue them right in, and it'll work just great. It'll look prototypical because some roundhouses do have gooseneck lighting on their beams, so we will attempt to make it look close. We'll get there. We'll get there, you know. Also, I have this machine shop that I did some painting on, some details, some black border around the tops there, and painted some doors red and so forth and so forth. But the one thing is, with the lighting, I want to light this building up. So I took one of the nano lights, it's a warm white light, and I drilled a hole right down here in the center on the back wall. I can feed this up through the bottom and run that up to the roof. And I'll attach the light along the roof and keep it in the center of the roof panel here. And I can adjust that brightness with the adjustable volume controls of light, you know, rheostats, if you really want to get technical, but make the brightness a little bit brighter or lower depending on what you need it to be. So let's take a look at some of my current projects' progress right now. Okay, what I'm using to glue down the track is, well, probably going to get some heat for this, but I'm using testers, just liquid cement, and also some liquid nails clear adhesive. That'll go down here in front of the roundhouse to the turntable. It keeps the track from flexing and stuff like that, which this stuff tends to do. So I'm going to start off by putting in the silicone. Smooth it all the way out, especially right up against the turntable, because you want it to grab the ties. And then fill the slots where the rails are going to sit inside the bay. Push your rails down. Since you've pre-measured out your rails, they should fit right in there again, up to the edge. Make sure they get placed down in the right spots. If they start bending around and stuff, What I use is I got these old wheel sets that I put on here to keep it spread out to the right gauge. I'll probably, lay a few of them on here and make sure it's the right width. What you also can do is take a heavy engine like this DDA 40X and place it on the track. This track here is actually drying right now, but that's one way of doing it. You can also put a bunch of these down. And put something heavy on it, like a piece of wood. But that doesn't really work very well because the wood doesn't balance on it. That's what I first thought I could do. But if you hold it down with something like this, it works. If not, get like a long flatbed, put it on the tracks, make sure it's all nice and straight, and then let's say you're doing a couple of these tracks, you can put that block of wood across those and use the weight of the wood to press it down. Big thing over here on this side is this part will rise up and down, so you probably should put a piece of wood on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right here on the ends because both these are drying. I'm going to cover up all this transition area with ballast or some other covering. Let this dry and move on to the next ones when you're confident that it's all dry. Well, ManCavians, that's been part 5, and I showed you some lighting on how it looks, where my just plug system is going to be put in and mounted to the beams inside the roundhouse, and also inside some buildings. I have it mounted to the roof so it shines up the whole floor so it looks more natural. That's already mounted and plugged in. I'll show you all that stuff later in the next version when I actually get into electrical. But first I got to put all the track down, got to get it glued, got to get it in place, and then I can start soldering and putting all the switches in and building my control panel, and all those little pieces together will be in the next video. Life gets in the way sometimes, and I'm sorry if there's a lot of break in between here, but that happens. So you got to really make sure your track is glued down and in the right place. And you may have to maneuver them around later when you are adjusting or setting up your stop points for your turntable later on. So just be aware, nothing's completely permanent until the turntable works and you can run engines across. So till next time, ManCavians, happy model railroading, stay off the tracks. Bye. So if you like what you saw here today, go ahead and click subscribe down here below, or follow my Facebook, Google+, Twitter, and my Instagram, links down here below in the comments. Also, click on one of my other links for videos as well. As always, ManCavians, happy model railroading, stay off the tracks. Bye.